Hey everyone! Welcome back to the roller coaster journey of Linda, a single mom, fighting to escape the clutches of her abusive ex-husband. As she battles to reclaim her freedom, one haunting question lingers. Where is Kwang, the CEO whose child she's carrying? While Linda faces unimaginable danger, struggling to survive each day, Kwang remains mysteriously absent. Why hasn't he come to save her? What's keeping him away at a time like this? As the clock ticks and the stakes rise, Linda must confront her worst fears alone. Can she break free before it's too late? Or will she be forced to fight this battle on her own, with no sign of help on the horizon? And when Kwang finally learns the truth, will he arrive in time to make a difference? After breaking free from the iron chain her cruel ex-husband had used to imprison her, Linda knew she didn't have a second to waste. Time wasn't on her side. If she didn't move now, all her courage and effort would be for nothing. Her body was weak, her limbs heavy, but her willpower was stronger than ever. She had to run. She had to escape. There was no going back, no second chance if she got caught again. Scanning her surroundings, Linda's eyes landed on a cluster of rocky cliffs nearby. The only place she could hide, the only place that might give her a chance. Step by trembling step, she climbed her muscles, screaming in protest. Every inch upward felt like an eternity. But she knew this was life or death. She couldn't stop. Not now. Just as she reached the top of a large boulder, she heard the sound of footsteps. He was back. The man's eyes locked onto the shattered chain, and rage twisted across his face. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Linda, whom he had always seen as weak, compliant, controllable, had somehow broken through steel. Furious, he stormed through the area, calling her name like a predator, circling its prey. Linda, you can't be far. I know you just escaped. His voice thundered through the forest, echoing like waves crashing against the rocks. But Linda didn't make a sound. Hidden just below, curled in absolute silence, she refused to move. One wrong breath could destroy everything. He searched high and low, frustration growing with each passing moment. He climbed boulders, scanned the trees, desperate to find any trace of her. But she had covered her tracks well. Eventually, unable to spot even a footprint, he gave up and stomped off to search elsewhere. Only then did Linda exhale, a shallow, quiet breath of relief. But she knew this wasn't over, not even close. She rose from her hiding place, legs trembling but spirit unbroken. She couldn't stay there. He might come back. She had to keep going. Each step deeper into the forest was agony. Every shadow held a threat. But Linda pressed forward, her mind focused on one thing: freedom. Tension gripped her like a wire pulled taut. Every crack of a twig, every rustle of leaves sent chills down her spine. She couldn't stop, not now, not ever. She was running not just for herself, but for the tiny life growing inside her, for the future she dared to hope for. And that hope, fragile as it was the only light guiding her through the darkness. Linda's body was completely drained. Every ounce of strength she had left had been spent trying to escape. Exhausted and in pain, she knew she couldn't run any farther. Not like this. She stumbled into a shadowy corner of the forest and collapsed onto the ground, trying to steady her breath. But in her mind, only one thing mattered now: the chain around her ankle. It was still holding her back, slowing her down. If she didn't get it off, her chances of escape would vanish. If he caught her again, it would all be over. Without hesitation, Linda grabbed a nearby rock. Her hands shook, her muscles screamed, but she lifted it anyway and began hammering the chain. Blow after blow, her determination was stronger than her pain. Every crack in the iron brought a flicker of hope. She was exhausted beyond words, but she couldn't stop now. She had to break free, and finally, the chain gave in. It snapped in two, falling to the forest floor. For a brief moment, Linda felt the weight lift, not just physically, but emotionally too. She looked down at her bare ankle, her lips trembling as a strange lightness filled her chest. But freedom was still far away. Time was not on her side. Every second she sat still could be the one that got her caught. Her legs trembled, but she forced herself to stand. Leaning on the jagged stones for support, she kept going step by shaky step, navigating the massive rocks, trying to find a way out of the dense forest. Her heart pounded. Fear crawled up her spine with every step she took. She knew one misstep could cost her everything. And then, it happened. While climbing one of the steeper ledges, Linda's foot slipped. Her balance gave out, her body too weak to catch itself. She tumbled down, crashing hard against the ground below. The world spun. Pain shot through her like lightning. Her limbs refused to move. She lay there, broken, breathless, and barely conscious. A wave of despair swept over her. Was this it? Was this the moment everything she fought for came crashing down? As the forest stood silent around her, Linda's body couldn't move. But deep in her soul, the fire hadn't gone out yet. Back at home, Kwang's mother was growing increasingly restless. She stared at her phone, anxiety knotting her stomach, still no reply from Linda. Dozens of calls, countless messages, and nothing. Silence. Something was wrong. Deep down, she could feel it. Unable to sit still any longer, she grabbed her keys and rushed out the door. This wasn't the first time she'd been worried about Linda, but tonight felt different. Something in her gut told her this time it was serious. As she drove to Linda's house, every second that passed only made her more nervous. When she arrived, everything looked normal. Too normal. No signs of struggle, no shattered glass, no open doors yet. An eerie stillness hung in the air like the calm before a storm. She called out Linda's name as she circled the property. No answer. Not a sound. The house felt abandoned, like it had been empty for days. Her fear escalated into full-blown panic. Without wasting another moment, she sped to the nearest police station. Inside, she pleaded with the officers, her voice trembling, as she explained everything: the unanswered calls, Linda's silence, the fear that something terrible had happened. The officers listened carefully, noting every detail, and immediately escalated the situation to their superiors. It wasn't long before 2 officers accompanied her back to Linda's home. They moved quickly, methodically searching every corner, scanning for any clue. Kwang's mother stood nearby, her hands clenched tightly, barely able to breathe. The longer the search went on, the more serious things became. The officers exchanged quiet glances. Something was off. Finally, one of them turned to her and said, "There's reason to believe this might be a kidnapping, possibly tied to a ransom." The words hit her like a brick. Kidnapping, ransom. Tears welled in her eyes, but she nodded, trying to stay strong. At least now she wasn't alone. The authorities were involved. They would do everything they could to find Linda. Before leaving, the officers reassured her. "We're not giving up. We'll find her," one of them said firmly. His tone calm, but filled with determination. She managed a faint smile, grateful for their commitment. But the worry didn't ease. As they disappeared into the night to continue their search, she stood frozen in place, staring after them, heart aching with unanswered questions. Where is Linda now? Is she still alive, trapped somewhere in the forest? Will they find her in time? All she could do now was hope. Stay with us for the next episode, where we uncover whether Linda survives the night and if the rescuers can reach her before it's too late.
Cuộc tìm kiếm càng kéo dài, mọi thứ càng trở nên nghiêm trọng. Hai cảnh sát lặng lẽ nhìn nhau, có điều gì đó không đủ. Cuối cùng, một trong số họ quay sang cô và nói, có lý do để tin rằng đây có thể là một vụ bắt cóc có liên quan đến một khoản tiền chuộc. Những lời đó như một viên gạch đánh xuống cô. Bắt cóc, tiền chuộc. Nước mắt trào ra, nhưng cô gật đầu, cố gắng giữ bình tĩnh. Ít nhất thì giờ đây tôi không còn đơn độc. Chính quyền đã vào cuộc. Họ sẽ làm mọi thứ có thể để tìm Linda. Trước khi rời đi, bác sĩ quan trấn an cô. Chúng tôi sẽ phục vụ vào cuộc. Chúng tôi sẽ tìm thấy cô ấy. Một trong số họ nói chắc nịch. Giọng điệu của anh ta bình tĩnh nhưng đầy quyết tâm. Cô ấy mỉm cười nhẹ, biết ơn sự tận tâm của họ, nhưng nỗi lo lắng vẫn không nguôi khi họ biết biến mất vào màn đêm để tiếp tục tìm kiếm. Cô đứng lặng lẽ tại chỗ, nhìn theo họ, lòng đau đớn với những câu hỏi chưa có lời giải đáp. Linda hiện đang ở đâu? Cô ấy còn sống, mắc kẹt đâu đó trong rừng. Liệu họ có tìm thấy cô ấy kịp thời không? Tất cả những gì cô ấy có thể làm bây giờ là hy vọng. Hãy theo dõi tập tiếp theo, nơi chúng ta sẽ khám phá xem Linda sống sót qua đêm nay không, và liệu những người cứu hộ có thể đến được với cô ấy trước khi quá muộn.